If you are looking for a deeper understanding of yourself and the universe, you've been drawn to the right place. I'm really excited to come in today and have a conversation that is kind of close to my heart because this happens to me. And in talking with Nirmala, she always sheds light on why these things might be happening. And today I was wanting to talk about procrastination, feeling stuck in life, not moving forward. And I thought this is a topic so many people can resonate with, and curious what light you can shed on it.
Thanks, Danielle. Welcome, everyone. All right, so today's topic is going to be on procrastination. Now, when we are saying procrastination, it means a lot of things, right? Whether we have been, the procrastination has started since, where it has started and how long it's been existing for. Is this a habit or is it something that just started playing right now? All right, so there's when you really look at it, there's kind of stages that you can see when somebody's doing a procrastination. Most of the times what I find is that when it comes to procrastination is that it's a habit. Yeah. Some people can only work at the last minute. That means an ultimatum is given to them or work is given to them in office, at work, even in someone who's getting married. I've seen this before where they do procrastinate until it's time's up. They can't wait anymore. They only can work under pressure. All right. So they tend to procrastinate because they work under pressure because they know that this is getting somewhere. So that's the pressure part. That means they're saying that this is getting somewhere. So I have to get this done right now. Yeah. That's one type of procrastination. The other one is where it has been a bit of a habit. That means it's patterned from I can go as childhood. I'm talking about this lifetime, and it could be a pattern that they bring in from the other lifetime. Yeah, because of certain reasons, they kind of lock themselves, saying that is not going to happen, even though they're saying yes, I'm getting there. In back of their mind, they kind of already made up, saying that it's not going to happen. This is not going to move forward. Why would I even waste my time? Right? So, and then the patterned one is copying someone who has done that before. Yeah. Most of the time, children copy parents. All right. So, to all parents, they're doing something, always do something, and always say that fantastic, I've done it. Children get the habit of it. Yeah. So they tend to get the pattern of the parents, so where they sit down in front of the TV, watching the TV, and not doing anything, and then they know the kitchen is messy or whatever it is messy, or their work is piled with the children observing. They are very, very intelligent beings. I find children are more intelligent than adults in a lot of ways because their cells are always, signaling each other all the time, and they're observing, they're listening, and they're hearing. So that becomes a habit. So it's like you can do it that way. So we have always been a pattern in that way, doing things the similar way, structured in that way, or kind of a hypnotized to do it that way, right? So that's kind of a habit. Before Daniel came in, I was reading my thesis that I wrote on about where we say that where I did explain about the critical roles of a hippocampus in your brain and amygdala in your brain. Its job is to process the trauma that you've been through, and it keeps that's the memory. The trauma memory is registered, and it keeps it there. Yeah, and when you look at it, you have to remind yourself during a for the hippocampus to become overwhelmed or to become to release stress hormones into your body. So what it does is the brain picks up the trauma, it keeps it there. It's like a spark, keep reminding you this is what's happening. Even though it happened long time ago, at this very moment of time, you got everything around you, you're sitting in front of nature, you got a beautiful family, everything is going on. And yet people tend to feel so upset or depressed or feel like something's not moving in their life, right? So our major player in our brain, human brain, is the hippocampus and the amygdala. Yeah. So when you're looking at those kind of processing, sometimes to bring things from one angle to the other, it's not that difficult. It's just making up tuning or re-registering or unhypnotizing yourself from the past. Yeah. All right. In saying that,
easier said than done, I think. Well, I was just gonna say that's easier said than done because so much is. I mean, it's interesting. You don't even see the patterns in your parents, but it's what I have found is like when I meet a friend and then I meet their parents, all of a sudden I go, "Oh my gosh!" Like you can see the patterning, and I bet your friend would probably get upset if you said, "Oh my God, you're so much like your mother." It's amazing, you know, what we don't witness and that we've taken in because it was like that was just how life was, right? You didn't know it to be any other way. So it can be, I don't know, I find it tricky to unlock what those patterns are and then, you know, move them away so you can create a new one. So I'm excited to see what, you know, what you have to offer on that.
It's interesting that you're bringing that up because, you know, we are duplicates of when it comes to feelings and everything. We duplicate, you know. So say for example, how many times we have caught ourselves doing things that we don't want our parents to do, but we do it, you know, with our own children or with our friends or family. How many times? And I'll do it and then come back and I go, so why did I even do it? You know? So it's like, so it's a programming, yeah. So it's a programming, and it's like, and then now we have to now go in and do a reprogramming, just like a computer, yeah. Every time they need to upgrade, and every time there's new things has to come in. So the new things is the knowledge that you're bringing in, the intelligence you're bringing in into this space. Now, in saying that, I'm just going into a scenario to give you an example of someone that I don't want to be so specific as I'm dealing with them all the time. So someone who's coming in saying that my life is not moving, you know, everything is stuck, you know, but when you look at this particular person, she's so intelligent, you know. So for me, it's like I'm looking at the octahedron, okay? I'm looking at the octahedron, all right? So the circle is the octahedron. As you all know, I can only describe things from a geometric point of view. So I'm seeing a whole octahedron in that. So this person has got a flow. Yep. Now this flow can be good, but the thing is that the flow is not going in this direction all the time. It goes there and then it goes back again. All right. So how do I explain this? When I'm looking at it, I start seeing gaps in between. All right. Geometry is solid. There shouldn't be any gaps. So when I see that, and then within that gaps, I see smaller octahedron dwelling on the other side, right? That means there's information in there that needs to fit into this geometry, but it's not coming through because she's not allowing it. She's not allowing it. Intelligent girl, you know, doing a fabulous work. She's doing, you know, and she's looking after, she's very passionate about her job and, you know, very independent. You know, when you look at it, she has it all. When I see something like that, it's a flow. This person meant to have a flow. So why does this happen? And then within that, I see the spear again, you know, spear. Just sorry about my drawings, guys, but this is the only way I can describe things. So I can see the spear. So I can see that she's bringing a specific pattern. So it can be a pattern that's already existing with her, or it is a trauma or a fear of life.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. That she brings into her life. Okay. Two things can happen in here. So there I'm observing the person and you know, asking questions, she's answering certain things. And as she's observing, as I'm observing her, I can see that there's something within that aspect of that is always popping in. The fact of that fear is popping in all the time. So with her permission, I have to go a little bit more deeper into her. So there I open up the next part, the next stage that she should have been, because don't forget, where she's coming from is one, where she's going is the other, which is the now. Sorry, where is she right now is one, and then we got where she's going, more like the future. Okay, so this is the past. That's a noun, that's the future. So this is where I'm having my communication with the geometry. Yeah. So I can see that there's a lot of fractals that's kind of all around here. Fractals that's like that doesn't want to move into that, and the only reason that's not going in there because she's stuck to this. So now my work is not to bring her in and show her the future, but my job is to bring her out of that fear first. Yeah. So my work becomes even more I have to work with this in a very conscious level without having my interpretation. And that's why I love talking to the geometry, because the geometry doesn't allow me to talk with my brain all the time. All right, so if I would bring in my brain, then I'll bring in the type of fear I had when I was younger, and why I couldn't go into the future. So it allows me to step back and just observe the person. Okay, so there I'm looking at her, and then she has all these beautiful dreams. It's not a girl, I mean, she's a young girl, independent and have everything. Nothing is lacking in her life, but she's not doing much with her life. That means there's a whole world that's waiting for her, and she kind of stuck in a space where, she goes to work, she comes back, and this is where she's going to be. This is the space. This is where I'm going to be. She locked everything from every angle in this geometry that I could think of, so that she's got no entrance. She's not going to exit. She made it in her mind.
Right. And it's because these fears, like the fractals you're talking about, it's fears that are blocking any sort of motion.
Yeah. So one thing is the pattern. The pattern is that, okay, I've been doing this. I'm bored because I'm established. I've done everything I can. I did my master's. I'm going to do my PhD now. Education and knowledge is fantastic. The purpose has never been there. Okay, so this is where it starts with. So she's doing
like
everything.
Boxes, like just sort of going through life, checking a box just to check it, almost without the reason behind it.
Fantastic. That's the thing. So it's like a checklist, just ticking off the boxes to always talk about all the time. So you can see that there's a pattern, and then she's just fixated with that pattern, thinking that this is what I'm going to do. As long as I'm doing this. So where this pattern is coming from is the next question we're asking. So where is this that if I do this, and do this, and do this, like ticking the checklist, I'm there. I'm done. Okay, so I'm fantastic. My life's supposed to be fabulous. But that's not. We all know that's not going to happen. All right, you as the ownership to come out and explore, you has the ownership to unlock everything and become that original geometry that I'm looking at. Of course, there's going to be a lot of things I'm seeing, but I'm just doing one little thing to show you, because if I show you what I'm seeing, you'll be confused. That's for sure. So.
Well, Nirmala, one question, like the types of fears, because I think this is important for people to realize, because I'm sure many people have the same thing, like, why am I stuck? What's holding me back? I feel like I'm in, this patterned space. What are the fears? I don't know if you want to use this person as an example, or other people that you've seen that maybe are programmed in there that they're not understanding. Like, because for me, it's always been the subconscious stuff that has stopped me from moving forward. And, when people kind of point it out and shine a light on it, I go, oh.
The programming to answer your question, the programming that we have, all right? So all of us have it, she had it, you have it, we have it, everyone have it, all right? So sometimes it's a cultural aspect of it, all right? So where, we have always seen, where we've been always trained. There's an entrainment that's already in place where it says that, you got to do this so that you can get there, so a lot of culture from you look at the East, our culture has always been like, you got to do this and this and this so that you can get this and this. It's always around the material factor, always in that space. I'm not saying all parents are like that, but what I'm saying is that the programming has always been there, especially with this particular case that I'm talking about, right? So it's a very cultural aspect that things has to be this way. Things has to be, so there's a specific design has been given to her, and she's trying it, but she's finding it very difficult to fit herself into that design because it's not accommodating her. So what she locks everything. If It's like two people meeting for the first time. They're going out and they're meeting each other. And when they're meeting each other, the first thing is that what is the first thing they're looking at each other? The looks, right? Not as me in geometry, but they look at the looks. Yeah. So when they're looking at the looks, the attraction, the attention, everything is going into what is the physical. The first conditioning is the physical they're looking into. Nobody's bypass and looking at the vital or the spiritual component of it. Everybody's looking at the physical, which is natural. That's what we do as humans. So, and then comes the mental body. First thing is physical, then the mental body steps in. What does the mental body says? Is this person suitable for the family? Is this person going to be suitable? Do you think your mom is going to accept it? Do you think dad is going to accept it? Do you think my brother is going to accept it? Do you think my sister is going to accept it? All these questions comes in.
Yeah.
Okay. So her focus is not on herself, but everything else.
Interesting.
Okay. So culture is one thing. Yeah. And there are beautiful parents that I've seen that, does amazing things, that they always say that it's your decision. You're going to live your life. And this is what it is. You find what is balancing for you, what is going to be form of attraction for you. Yeah. And I'm not saying that culture is wrong. Culture is fantastic when you use it in a very much in a positive way. Yeah. Everything has got its ups and downs, and as we know, it's got this. The second thing I'm looking at is the demand. Yeah. The demand that she put onto herself, that that this is how things meant to work. That means she has always viewed and saw, for example, there was the question, the way it asked and the way she responded was not so much about the parents, but talking about one of their closest family member who are very close. And that means the parents are siblings and the parents' siblings. So there she's saying that she wants something like this. She wanted exactly like this. Yeah. So she wants everything because their children had all these things, and then they followed the method and it worked. So it's all happening. But when I go deeper, it's not that everything worked for the family or for the children. It's just that it's made as such a way. The presentation has been such a way. We have a perfect family. This is how we are doing it. Everything is perfect. Nothing is perfect.
Right.
We are perfect as humans to think and do what we are. We got one arm shorter than the other. We're still perfect in that way in nature. But there's no such thing as, this is how it has to be, and not the projection that's been given, right? So it took me some time to remove her out of this, and then the demand she thrown into herself that if she's going to find someone or if she's going to be with someone, this is how it's going to be. The person has to have this, and this, and this. So it's too many checklists. I can't work with checklists. Unfortunately, I cannot. It's too many. And I don't like to give checklists, right? So if it's working for you, just go with the flow. It's your journey. Go through the experience. Something will knock you back or something will just embrace you. One or the other is going to happen. And then you'll know, okay, so this is not working. So this is not. That's the only way you can learn what you want and what you don't want. Yeah. You cannot jump into that and say that, okay, my family like the color orange. It has to be orange. I must love orange. It doesn't. Does it resonate? It doesn't resonate in my brain. It doesn't resonate with anyone. Yeah. It's not going to work. So it's meeting the demands on that level is too much on her. I'm very sure that she should be able to, once she come out of the fear, she should be able to completely see this in a very much different formation. So this octahedron should be not on the purpose of rocking, but on the purpose of flowing, right? When I see a character, a personality of octahedron, it is always like this. When I see that, beautiful, amazing. That means there's a rhythm in that personality of that geometry. All right. That means there are other things I need to work with. But with her, she's getting there now, but not exactly to the point I'm looking at. Yeah. But she's getting there. She's getting out of her comfort space. She's moving. She's doing everything she can to find her own her own resonance, her own pattern. She's designing herself, which was beautiful, which is she's already started doing. Now, the fear that who is going to accept, who is not going to accept is always in everybody's head, especially in this particular case. It's like they always say that when you, even in friendship, you have friends with having friends in socializing and all that. How many times have I heard from my clients? They do mention that, oh no, I can't introduce this friend to my family. Oh my God, there's no way I want my mom to know that I'm interacting with that person. But they're best friends, right? They love each other to the extreme that they share their secrets, and and they're motivating each other in life and all that. Fabulous, fantastic. That's the type of friend you want to have. Yeah. But it's it's always the I'm trying to find a nice word, not offensive word. it is always the discrimination or the judgment that we as humans we have that throws us out of out of the space. So it's very interesting, and just imagine. She said that she fell in love with someone, and that person had got tattoos all over the arms, on his neck, and all that. And she says that she couldn't even bring him back home. There's no way this acceptance, but he's doing very well. He's running his own business. He's a very good in designing. When I tap into his geometry, he's perfect. It's like he's having a fabulous. That means he's expressing himself as he is.
Mm-hmm.
That will really help her, because she needs to start expressing herself, but she's trying to duplicate her expression by trying to copying someone when she's not. Yeah. So we kind of cleared this part of it, because it came from childhood for her. Even the way that where she needs to buy her home, where it has to be, all sorts of things. It's like every single section of her life has already been there's a pre-assumption already in place that this is how things has to go in her life. I know parents always want to be protective. They want to get the best for their children. But then if you don't allow them to go through the experience, you're stopping them from the learning, and they would not know what to do when they really find someone, or, in relationship, they wouldn't know what to do or how to do or where to go, who to say, kind of things. They get very confused. Right. All right. And I find that the learning experience is very important to remove the fear. Fear has to be there. Fear is good. I'm not saying any of the emotions is good for me, because that brings them to the next level of the experience. So it's fantastic to have it there. But for her to understand now that she's an individual, she's a divine being who's here to go through this human experience. And she needs to, to do that, she needs to step out and explore, to come into this beautiful, geometrical sequence that I'm seeing here, beautiful design. So she can reset and come back, and she can go back in again. When I want to see that when I see someone who's more of a personality of octahedron. Yeah. Right. They're very good. The octahedron is like octahedron is always flow, like water. Okay, it's a flow of water, and this sort of personality is very good when you put them in education. They'll be fantastic educator. When I see an octahedron, they'll be fantastic in educating others. They'll be very much within their intelligence. Yeah. So, and I kind of we went from one space to another when I brought her into the session, and she was able to see herself. Only on the third and fourth session, I was able to bring her into the space that she can see herself as who she really is, right? They are like they always say that in a huge ocean, you're just a drop of water. So when you become the drop of water, you're no different to any of the other drops, because you can't differentiate yourself. You become a collective consciousness. And these people will be so fantastic in that space. If you throw them with children to become to become a teacher or with the youth, younger people and all that, they will do fantastic work. I won't doubt the octahedron personalities. But they are pretty influential. At the same time, they can go into this too as well, trapped between the fear and pattern, because of demands around them. That means most of the time they try to please the people around them than pleasing themselves.
Yeah, I see that in a lot of people. They think they need to act a certain way, be a certain way, be with the right person, get the right job, all this stuff that like the external world is showing you. Me in my life, that's how it was until my car accident. I mean, I was ticking the boxes. Okay, I have to do this because it'll look good on my resume, and then I can go here, and then I can go here because I was supposed to build, the perfect life. And I mean, I got knocked out of life, and had this perspective. But it's so interesting. I saw this in so many of my own friends that I was witnessing kind of go through and doing things that they felt they needed to do, or because their family, was pushing it, or because the friend group was also kind of pushing it, because that's what society was like moving everybody towards. And it's so interesting because we're all unique. And somehow I think we've lost like that uniqueness within us. When you made that flow, I thought, well, that's so beautiful, because if people could just get in their unique flow, everything would open up for them. I had one of my teachers, she said to me, Danielle, everybody is a unique instrument. And if you're a violin and you're spending your life trying to sound like a drum, you're going to think you're a failure and you're going to have all this frustration internally. But if you just went inward and realized, no, your music sounds very different. And when you play the violin, you do it beautifully. It's like, and a band wouldn't be, if everybody was drumming, it'd be a little too much. You need all the different aspects, and that's what makes humanity so beautiful. So thank you for shedding light on this today.
Yeah. Just to finish off, I know that we're running out of time. We wanted to make sure that this is 20 minutes, isn't it?
Past it. Okay.
So so always the past and the future is all in the now, as we all say it, but the past and the future experience are right now. So that means whatever you took it in the past, the experience is brought you to where you are right now. So whatever is going to happen in the future is what you're creating right now. Yeah. So if you can make a circle around you, just stand in a circle, just make an imaginative circle space around you. Put yourself in that space and allow this white glowing light to just come and cocoon you around this space. That you're very much safe, you are very much clear, you are very much protected in that space. And then within that space, if you can hold yourself and say who you really are, what you're here to do, what you really want. A lot of people don't know what they really want. If you can stand, make a circle and say that before I step out of this circle, this is who I am and this is what I am. A clear, very much clear story about you. Yeah. You are the one who's creating your story. Nobody else can create the story for you, right? If your story is not going the way it's meant to go, who is stopping it? You. And how I say you, it's because your mind is doing all the interruptions, and we are going and dropping into the space of doubt all the time. Yeah. And as much as I say all these things, I know that sometimes you need help. Somebody have to help you and assist you. Don't go to the patterned person all the time. They are good and great in certain things they do. Always try to, go out there and listen and, and feel and hear things that you have never heard before. Yeah. That really resonate from your heart. Yeah. So within that circle, if you can make a story about you, maybe you don't have to make a story about you for the next 10 years. Make a story about you for the next week. Then you practice it and slowly expand it. All right. All right. Next week, I'm going to go for this race and I'm going to be, doing great. I'm going to have so much of fun. It's going to be fantastic. I'm going to enjoy it. All right. It's not about winning or losing. It's about you being present and really enjoying the bliss of what has been given to you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a beautiful.
Okay. All right. So is there anything else you want to add on or any questions, Danielle?
No, I think you demonstrated it beautifully about why we get stuck in life, what's stopping us from going forward, and what an amazing thing to apply each and every day. I try to, before I start my day, close my eyes and visualize how I want the day to go. And the days that I do it, things flow. The days that I forget are a little bit, choppier. And so I love the visual that you just gave all of us to apply and do.
Yeah, just reminding yourself every single day that you are a beautiful being. I know that this is very basic. I'm talking about pain and fear. Some of them, pattern and fear. Some of them will be struggling with pain. All right. So even with that, I think I know that it's a little bit more stretching we have to do, but we need to start here as well, even to get rid of pain. What we want and what we don't want. All right.
Well, I can't wait till that conversation. I think it's so fascinating how all of this can come in and manifest physically in the body as well. So I look forward to when we can dive into that. And thank you all for tuning in. And never forget the single truth. You are more than just your thoughts. And this secret, once known, will unlock everything for you. So welcome to this community of spiritual beings, all looking to amplify their human experience. We're grateful for you for tuning in. And remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for notifications. If you have questions or comments, please put them below and we'll integrate them in our shows going forward. Have a beautiful day, everyone.